Hi everybody, welcome back for another video, and today's video is just kind of like it's not a Techo Kaigi because I kind of have already done one of those, like a mid-year Techo Kaigi. I've already done one of those, but my planning system has changed a bit. Especially, it changed quite a bit from the beginning of the year. The beginning of the year, I was using personal size traveler's notebook inserts. Then I switched to using standard size traveler's notebook inserts. And then towards the middle to end of July, I started looking at bullet journaling. I was also using a passport. I even had the wonderful Bree at Documented Journey make me a beautiful passport with the design that I was looking for. But with most of my work taking place at home and not really needing to take a planner out and about, I decided to move my wallet back into one of my little Chic Sparrow Nanos. I have been thinking of having a Nano made out of cork, or I've also been thinking of maybe going to Michael's and getting the stuff and making myself one out of cork. I don't know. We'll see what happens on that front. But you'll notice I have 4 things on the table that I normally don't use. And so that's why I'm filming this video, because it is quite a different planning, not system, like my system for planning is still the same, but the sizes and the items that I'm using are quite different. And it could be because this time of year, with teaching at the university and being still online, my courses are online, so I can use a larger notebook. So let's just kind of break everything down. I have journaled in the past in an A5 notebook. Here's a Taroko Design Breeze that I started a long time ago. I started it in 2017. Yeah, 2017. And it took me quite a few years to finish it. And I finally finished it. The last writing was from January 7th of 2021. So I was still using an A5 for some of my journaling, but not all of my journaling. But I finished, after finishing that, I finished a B6 book, and then I finished a standard, or one of these A5s that I cut down to standard. And then I wanted something to use, and I decided to pull out a Midori MD after I finished all of those notebooks. And this one I started in June, and I haven't been journaling quite as much. And I'm not journaling in order, like this says the 28th, the 30th. This says June 6th because that was when this happened. But I had journaled about it out of order. There's July 3rd, and then eventually it's chronological, July 7th, 11th, 12th. It's been chronological since then. But I haven't been journaling every day. Like, here's the 21st, the 26th of July, the 24th of July, the 26th of July, 28th, 31st, August 4th, some floral doodles. Just August 12th. So you can see like quite a few days went through there. So I haven't been journaling on a daily basis. And that's one reason why I don't use a dated notebook or a dated journal, because sometimes I don't have time to journal. But I've really been enjoying this. This is a Midori MD notebook with the grid, and it's one of my favorite papers. It's a slight cream color with like a blue-gray grid, and it's just a really nice notebook. So this is what I've been using for my journal. But for my planning aspects, I was using a standard traveler's notebook. Let me get that. I was taking DIY fish inserts that I had purchased in the personal size and blowing them up to the standard size, and then, you know, using them. But then I decided I was doing some double duty. So I have in my standard size, I have my month on 2 pages, the Travelers Company one. I have the week, which is the week on a page with dot grid. And then I have a grid notebook in the back. And that was what I was using. But I started studying Spanish again. If you've been to my channel before, you know I love studying languages. Spanish was the first language that I studied in junior high and through high school. Then in college I studied French, and then eventually Russian and Japanese. But I wanted to review my Spanish because living in America and living in the portion of America where I live, English and Spanish, those are the 2 languages that are most commonly spoke here. So I pulled out a little Midori MD A6 that I had, and I decided to set it up as a bullet journal, but for my Spanish study, where for the future log, what I'm doing is I'm like setting goals or things that I would like to accomplish with my study for each month, and I'm writing them as the month goes along. And then I've also created like a tracker. Yes, I'm using the Duolingo app, and it does track for you on the app, but I wanted to do it on paper because I like doing that and I like seeing it. And then I created a month on 2 page where I keep track of the amount of study that I do that week, like the amount of points that I get. And then notes, and then I have notes pages for like new vocabulary, just so I can have that. And then when that month is over, because I only had 2 weeks of July where I was using it, so then I had to do the same thing for August. I got my trackers, I've got my month, and then I only started keeping track of the points at the end of the week, and I forgot to write down last week's, but I write every day that I do use the Duolingo app, because that's what I'm using, because it's free. And so you can see that it's been like 36 or 37 days where I've consecutively done it. And then I have, you know, pages for vocabulary and grammar, more vocabulary. And then there's just a few more days left in the month of August. So I decided to set up my September. So I recreated my tracking for the lessons in the units. And then there's some other things that I'm going to track here that I haven't figured out yet how I wanted them. So I have those blank. And then I have my monthly calendar for September. And then pages for, you know, continuing my method of study. And then I do have just a grid insert where I have like messy notes where I'm quickly jotting down some things, and then eventually they make their way into my Midori MD. So using this made me think that, okay, you have used a bullet journal in the past. It was a while ago and it was for One Book July. And so I decided to go through my stash because I'm trying not to make any grand purchases. Like you'll notice in my journal, my Hobonichi cover is, you'll see, from 2015. I'm not buying another Hobonichi cover. I don't need to buy another Hobonichi cover. This one is great. If anything, I might have to get eventually one of the new cover-on-covers because it's plastic and they tend to wear out. But I don't need to buy a Hobonichi cover because these work and last so well. They're very well made. And I've had this cork cover from Brie for quite a while. So I decided to pull my journal out of here, and I wanted to create a bullet journal. So I do have a couple of writing boards. I am using this is a Artist Loft notebook. It is their less expensive one. It is a dot grid. Let me get to some blank pages. It is a white paper with a dot grid, and it is very, very thin paper. It's probably like what we would consider 22 pound paper, like the equivalent of like photocopy paper. And it is a bound book, hardcover, with the elastic bookmark or the elastic closure in the back. But you'll see it's really a softer, flexible. It's still a hard cardboard in there, but not as sturdy as some of their other ones. And it's, when I bought it, it cost all of $4.99. I think now they cost like $6.99. I bought it in 2019, and the way I know that is I have a video on my YouTube channel where towards the end of October, early November, I started using this as a bullet journal. I will link up here that video, and I think the video is called Bullet Journaling Using Artist Loft Supplies, or something really kind of lame like that. And the reason I know that it started in October, end of October, beginning of November, is the first calendar I have in here is November 2019. And I tried multiple monthly setups. And yes, I know you're supposed to do like one setup per month, but I didn't like what I had, and I just wanted to try a bunch of things to see what I thought. And since it was a cheap notebook, you know, it's not Leuchtturm and Midori paper, I felt okay doing that. And then I also set up the first week, which was the last few days of October and the first 3 days of November. And then I set up the week and then tried a couple of different weekly layouts. Pretty standard layouts that you'll find most people use. And then I took some notes, and then I stopped using the notebook. And it just sat on my shelf. So when I decided, hey, let me pull out a bullet journal, let me still do what's in here in case the bullet journal doesn't work, and, you know, see what we think of this. So I got a printable from Shada Campbell from her Patreon. I drew out my month, on 2 pages, just basically like the standard month that I create, you know, for my digital calendars. And put some stickers down and filled that out. I have a couple of blank pages for doodles. I wasn't sure if I was gonna if I wanted to track gratitude or water intake or anything like that, or exercise. So I left 2 blank pages, and I ended up just using them to doodle florals, which one of the things I love to do. And then I went with a simple week on 1 page, but where on the left page, only half of it I'm using for appointments or places that have a time that I need to be somewhere. And then the page on the right, split in half, keeping lists of to-dos and like items I'm waiting on. Here's the next week. And then I decided to do some doodling and write a quote. And here's last week. And then I started bringing back my printable weekly tracker from Peanuts Planner Co. I decided to put some stickers down since I didn't want to doodle there. Some washi tape to cover up some stuff that people don't need to know. And then here we are this week, where I've got my new business card. And I need to mark off a few things. Keeping track the exact same way, just added some cute stickers. Keeping track of our bills and my no spend, low spend, which you can see was a spend, so expect a video. And then getting ready for September. And then I did the exact same thing for each month. Cover page with some of my doodling, a monthly layout, 2 blank pages, and then my week with the dot grid for to-dos and a tracker. And I have that set up for the entire remainder of the year. There's the no spend, low spend, and bills. And then here we are for October. The month of October. Just a fun pumpkin washi. This is a very old washi from Planner Perfect. It's so old that it's like hard to peel because washi gets bad, and I've had it for quite a few years. Probably like 2017 is when I got that washi, so use your washi. 2 pages for doodling or whatever. And then my weeks with trackers. And then November. Weeks with tracker. December. Weeks, blank pages, weeks. I need to print some trackers. Actually, I have some in my traveler's notebook I can use. No spend, low spend, bills. And then just the month of January for future planning for next year. And then at the back of this, I have a lot of pages of pen tests, like a little expense chart, testing stencils, some little folio measurements, notes about this video. I'm working on a novel, there's that. And then I decided to use the last, 70-ish pages of the book for doodles and working on a book that I'm writing. And the book is very recent addition to my list of things. I might do NaNoWriMo, but then I've been keeping track of doodles that I'm doing. I was doing some of Jada Campbell's tutorials, and then just started making a bunch of my own in her style, because I love her florals. And it's such a thin paper, I decided to leave them blank. So in case I decide to put a little bit of watercolor or watercolor pencils or markers, I don't have to worry about it bleeding through the other side. There are those. There's two more. And then these 2 pages, I did a little tutorial on Twitch on how to draw these florals. Pansy, Black-Eyed Susan, and Enema, and Lavender. And then just some more sort of florals in the Shada Campbell style. And then I've got all of these pages just to doodle, write, and take notes. So for me, this is quite a different departure from what I've been doing. Yes, it is a similar or same setup, meaning it has a month on 2 pages, and then I have like a week on a page with grid, which is exactly what I have in here, and then even grid in the back for notes and other things like that. But it's all in one book. And so when I went to Michael's the other day, I was looking for another notebook. And so they have what they call a level 2. This one was a level 1, so it's a very thin paper. This one, they're saying it's artist level. And that's because it's 80-pound paper instead of this really, really light paper, like a photocopier. And I decided, let's try this and give it a try. But they had these on sale, so I decided to buy them. They were buy one, get one half off. So the better paper ones are $9.99. So one of these was $9.99. One of them was $4.99. So I did a little page pen test. But one thing that's nice is there's numbered pages. There's less pages because it's a thicker paper. But I just wanted to give them a try. So we have a pocket in the back, which the cheaper one doesn't have. It has a pen loop in the back, and you can fit quite a bit in here. And so that's where my planning system and planning style is. I went from Passport Traveler's Notebook, Standard Traveler's Notebook, to one book really for most everything, an A5 Artist's Loft notebook from Michael's. And I'm not using a fancy pen. I'm just using a Energel Pentel that I got at Office Depot. It's a 0.5 in black ink. It's a gel pen. Everything done in here was with the gel pen, even the lines for my month. So it's quite a departure for me from what you're used to seeing me use. And I just thought I would share the change that my planning system has undergone. And where are you this time of year, now that we've got 4 months left? Are you where you started the year? Are you in something new? Have you jumped around to a few things? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear what you're using. And I'm just loving my shades of brown. Oh, someone will ask, this is a chic sparrow, and it is that wood, that Evan wood, I think, leather, that is no longer in stock. I've had this for years. and just haven't used it much, and it's aging quite well. So let me know how you're going. Let me know what you're doing, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.